Hi there guys, in my last video I primed all the parts for this articulated Small Soldiers Insaniac figure and painted his head. If you've not seen part 1 and part 2 of the video, I'll include a link in the description box below. The Insaniac file I'm printing is available in the Epic Props VIP store. I'll also include the link for it in the description box below. With all the body parts primed, it was time to paint them. For all the pieces you see here, I used 2 coats of Citadel's Lothern Blue layer paint. After the 2 coats had dried on each piece, I covered them all with a wash of Crawford & Black's Ultramarine Blue, and wiped away as much as I could using a paper towel, which gives a nice 2-tone colour scheme. For the shoulder articulation, I inserted the joints that were FDM printed in part 1 of this series and secured them in place using a wooden dowel. I cut the excess dowel away and sanded it flat with a disposable nail file, which make excellent sanding sticks for model making. I added a dot of superglue to each side to secure the dowel in place and painted over it again with the 2 shades of blue to make the joints invisible. I won't bore you with the tedium of making Insaniac's necklace, but let's just say I realise I don't have the patience to be a jewellery maker. The teeth and the pendant were 3D printed by me, and the jewellery string and gold beads were bought online. Unfortunately, the necklace doesn't light up like in the movie, but I do have plans to make a version it does in the future. After looking at a lot of reference images of the screen used puppet online, I started painting the red body paint on Insaniac's arms, legs, fingers and toes. It was finally time to get this man some underwear. I painted the loincloth with 2 coats of burnt sienna, followed by a wash of burnt umber acrylic paints. For the staples on the arms and legs, I simply used a silver Sharpie pen to highlight these details. For all the nails, I used 1 coat of ochre yellow acrylic paint on each. I deliberately let some of the blue paint underneath shine through for the second colour tone, as I didn't want the nails to appear too bright. For the spikes in the left arm, I used Citadel's Stormhost Silver Layer acrylic paint, followed by a wash of black acrylic. To keep the chains in place, I glued them to a starting point using superglue, and once that had dried, I wound the chain around the arm, cut it at the end point, and also superglued it at the end point. I also repeated this process for the chain on the right leg. Once everything was painted, I took all the parts outside to do a matte clear coat. I gave these 24 hours to fully dry, then flipped the pieces over to do the matte clear coat on the other side, again giving it 24 hours to fully cure. To attach Insaniac's arms and legs, I hot glued the connector points I printed in part 1 to the shoulders and hips. The heat of the hot glue made the plastic soft enough to slip over the connector points, so I didn't need to also heat these with a hairdryer. There you have it. I was able to create a posable figure that has rotation in the head, shoulders, hands and hips. To display Insaniac, I ordered a wooden circular chopping board from Amazon and marked where he would stand using a pencil. I had previously modified Insaniac's feet to include screw holes in them, and also made a couple of templates to mark where to drill on the base. To mark the screw holes, I disassembled a pen and marked through the templates. I then took the base outside to prime it, and later gave it a coat of gloss black spray paint. I just want to quickly show you the closed fists that are attached by magnets, and can be swapped out for the open hands. So, for my first attempt at creating a posable action figure, I think I did not too bad. It's given me a real appreciation for toy designers and how they're able to engineer all the different articulation points into their products. I realise it's been a long time for me to get this series complete, so in future projects I won't be filming the painting process in such detail in order for me to get the videos out quicker to you. But hopefully you can refer back to these videos as a helpful painting guide. If you enjoyed this series, be sure to give the video a like, and if you want to see more projects like this in the future, a subscription to my channel really does help. Thank you for watching.